All right, so get this. We're going deep today
Deep into
to
it.
a wine region that's really like shaking things up.
Oh, yeah.
Ningxia,
Ning-
China.
Ningxia, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it,
Hmm.
it's not like the rolling hills of Tuscany or
No,
Napa Valley.
this is a place where you'd expect to find camels, not Cabernet.
Exactly. Not your typical vineyard. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why we've got a whole stack of sources here to unpack just what makes Ningxia so special.
Yes.
So we've got books,
Yeah.
we've got articles, we even have an index from Portugal
Wow.
to really like paint this picture of Ningxia wine.
Yeah.
World-class wine.
World-class wine from the desert.
From the desert. That's got to be a story, right?
It's a story and a half.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's fascinating how this region is actually perfectly suited for growing grapes,
Really?
despite that harsh desert environment.
Okay, so you've really got my attention now, because when I think of desert, I think of like sand and cacti, not grapes.
Well, you've got the Helan Mountains that shield the region from the intense Gobi winds.
Okay.
And then you've got the Yellow River.
Okay, the Yellow River, so more than just water here.
Much more.
Okay.
The Yellow River carries this unique yellow silt, and over centuries it has been deposited and it enriches the soil.
So almost like it was preparing
Yeah,
for this wine region to come.
like nature's slow-release fertilizer.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah.
But hold on, you said that Ningxia winemaking is relatively new.
Yeah, it started in the 1980s, modern viticulture.
Okay, 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that
Yeah,
ancient history?
that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
While modern viticulture might be, new grape cultivation in the region goes back over 2,000 years.
Wow.
And this ancient history is deeply intertwined with the Silk Road.
Oh, wow.
And that exposed the region to all sorts of grape varieties and techniques from civilizations like Persia and India.
So, okay, so we're talking about a region that's both a newcomer and an old soul when it comes to wine. Exactly.
Ancient roots, a modern revival, and now some of the most sought-after wines in the world coming from this place.
It really is remarkable.
That's quite the journey.
And it's a journey shaped by a climate that is intense, to say the least.
Okay.
You have scorching summers,
Yeah.
you have freezing winters, very little rainfall.
You wouldn't think grapes could survive there, let alone
You wouldn't think so, no.
thrive.
But they do.
So you're telling me these harsh conditions actually benefit the grapes?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay, how does that even work?
Well, it comes down to resilience and adaptation.
Okay.
The drastic temperature swings between day and night, what we call diurnal temperature variation,
Mm-hmm.
create grapes that have balanced sugar and acidity levels,
Okay.
which then leads to wines with vibrant flavors and a natural freshness.
So it's like they're working harder,
Yeah.
the grapes,
Yeah, like building character.
to produce these really interesting flavors.
Exactly.
I read about how they protect the vines during the winter by burying the vines,
Oh, yeah?
literally covering them with earth.
That's right.
It's like tucking them in for a long winter's nap.
Yeah,
That's dedication.
it is.
Wow.
A beautiful blend of ancient wisdom and modern techniques.
I like that.
And that blend is evident in the region's evolution from producing simple table wines
Mm-hmm.
to crafting these fine wines that are grabbing attention worldwide.
And that's not just happening by chance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a concerted effort,
Oh, yeah.
spearheaded by the government even,
Government got involved, that's right.
to elevate the quality and reputation of Ningxia wine. What did they do?
They invested heavily in research, in infrastructure, and in attracting foreign expertise.
Wow. So they really saw something special here.
They had a vision.
And they took a strategic approach?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah.
So they've got the terroir, the dedication, the vision.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the grapes? What are the stars of Ningxia?
Well, Cabernet Sauvignon reigns supreme.
Cabernet, oh yeah. It produces wines with rich black fruit flavors, hints of spice, and a very intriguing minerality
Ooh, Cabernet Sauvignon from the desert.
from the desert.
I'm already intrigued.
It's something else.
But it can't be all Cabernet, right?
No, you're right.
What else is doing well in this kind of unique environment?
Well, Merlot is another popular choice,
Okay.
producing smoother, more approachable wine.
Gotcha.
And winemakers are also experimenting with Syrah,
Oh, nice.
bringing its peppery spice to the mix.
Oh,
So it's kind of a playground for figuring out what can thrive there.
that's exciting. So we've got the classics, and then we've got some newcomers
Yes.
adding their own flair.
Yeah.
But there was something else we touched on earlier about developing indigenous Chinese grape varieties.
Yes.
What's that all about?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
There's a movement in Ningxia to create wines that are truly unique to China,
Okay.
reflecting their heritage.
Gotcha.
And that involves rediscovering and cultivating ancient Chinese grape varieties.
Okay, now we're talking. Like a viticultural treasure hunt. Right. Unearthing these forgotten grapes and giving them a second chance.
That's a great way to put it.
But why go to all that trouble?
It's about defining a truly Ningxia style of wine.
Okay.
Imagine wines with flavors and aromas unlike anything else found anywhere else in the world, a taste of history and tradition bottled.
Okay, I'm starting to get why people are so excited about Ningxia wine.
Yeah.
It's not just about the wine, it's about the story, the culture, the sense of place, right?
Exactly.
But how are they blending these ancient traditions with modern winemaking?
It really is a fascinating fusion.
Yeah.
You've got these massive clay jars,
Okay.
a traditional Chinese method for fermentation and aging,
Mm-hmm.
sitting right next to state-of-the-art temperature control systems.
It's like a clash of cultures.
It is.
In a good way.
In a really good way.
It's like they're saying we respect the heritage, but we're also embracing technology.
Absolutely.
But let's get down to like what we really want to know, the sensory experience. What can you tell us about like the flavors and characteristics that make Ningxia wine so special?
So for the reds, especially those Cabernet Sauvignons,
Okay.
expect bold, full-bodied flavors. Think ripe black fruits,
Like-
black cherry, plum,
Okay.
often with warm spices,
Okay.
black pepper, clove.
Nice.
And then there's that distinct minerality that I mentioned.
The minerality, so that's directly from the soil.
Directly from the soil, from that yellow silt.
Wow, so you're really tasting the place.
You're tasting the terroir.
Wow, okay, and the whites?
The white wines offer a delightful mix of citrus and tropical fruits and floral notes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, with that minerality shining through,
Okay.
think vibrant lemon and grapefruit, maybe a touch of pineapple,
Okay.
and those delicate floral aromas.
You're making me thirsty.
I know, right?
These wines sound incredible, but what about food pairings?
Oh, food pairings.
I imagine that they must be fantastic with the local cuisine.
Absolutely.
Ah,
Those Ningxia reds with their robust structure and spice notes are a perfect match for succulent lamb dishes,
okay.
hearty noodles, and the bold flavors of traditional Chinese spices.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But are they limited to just Chinese food? Could you pair them with other things?
That's the great thing about Ningxia wines is they're so versatile.
Okay.
The reds pair wonderfully with grilled meats, hearty stews, even aged cheeses.
Wow.
And the whites,
Mm-hmm.
they're a delight with seafood, creamy pasta dishes, lighter poultry.
Okay, now I'm convinced I need to get my hands on some Ningxia wine.
I think you do.
But with all these producers popping up, do you have any specific recommendations?
Oh, there are a few that stand out.
Okay.
Chateau Chanju Mozarek Fia,
Okay.
a great example of the Chinese-Austrian partnership that's driving innovation in the region.
Mm-hmm.
They're producing some truly exceptional wines.
I've heard good things.
And then there's Heelan Kingsu Vineyard,
Okay.
a family-owned winery known for elegant, terroir-driven wines.
Okay.
And if you're looking for more of a boutique experience, there's Legacy Peak.
Okay.
They focus on small batch, meticulously crafted wines.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't forget Silver Heights,
Oh, how could we?
founded by Emma Gao.
Yes, one of China's first Bordeaux-trained enologists.
Mm-hmm.
Those wines are getting rave reviews.
They are.
They really are. But beyond the wine itself, have you considered the potential for wine tourism in Ningxia?
Oh, absolutely. Exploring vineyards set against a backdrop of desert landscapes, that's not your typical wine country experience.
It's a world away from Tuscany or Napa.
Yeah, but that's part of the allure, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ningxia is actively developing its wine tourism infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
They have stunning wineries offering tours and tastings, even luxurious accommodations.
I can just imagine myself sipping Cabernet as the sun sets over those Heelan Mountains.
Oh, yeah?
It's definitely going on my travel bucket list.
I think you should.
But with all this development, are they keeping sustainability in mind? I mean, it is a fragile ecosystem.
That's a crucial point, and it seems to be a priority for Ningxia winemakers.
Okay.
They're really aware of the challenges of water scarcity and climate change.
Right.
Many are implementing water conservation measures,
Mm-hmm.
adopting organic and biodynamic farming practices,
Okay.
and even exploring renewable energy sources.
That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
So they're really taking a long-term view.
Yeah, a holistic approach.
Which makes sense. I mean, protecting the environment is essential for their industry.
Absolutely.
But let's talk bigger picture here. Where do you see Ningxia wine going in the future?
Okay.
Do you think they have what it takes to become, like, a major player
Oh,
on the global wine stage?
I think they absolutely do.
Yeah.
Quality is undeniable, the innovation is impressive, and they have a compelling story to tell.
You know, it's funny. At the beginning, I was a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Wine from the desert, it sounded like a gimmick.
Sure.
But after diving deep into these sources,
Yeah.
I'm really starting to see the magic of Ningxia wine.
Yeah, it's unexpected.
It's unexpected. It's challenging conventions.
Yeah.
It's truly captivating.
You've hit the nail on the head. Ningxia is redefining what it means to be a wine region.
Yeah.
It's a testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and the power of nature to surprise us.
It really makes you wonder, what else is out there waiting to be discovered?
That's right.
What other unexpected corners of the world are hiding incredible wines?
That's the beauty of exploration, isn't it? There's always something new.
Always something new.
But for now, let's savor the moment
Okay.
and appreciate what Ningxia has achieved.
I agree. It's a story that deserves to be told and a wine that deserves to be tasted.
Yes.
But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I have one last question. Can Ningxia become the next Napa Valley?
The million-dollar question.
$1 million question.
It's a lofty goal, no doubt,
Yeah.
but considering their rapid rise and unwavering ambition, I wouldn't underestimate their potential.
It's a question of identity, right? I mean, Napa has its image, its mystique.
Ningxia is forging its own path.
They're not trying to be the next Napa. They're striving to be the first Ningxia.
They're striving to be the first Ningxia, and that's a story worth following. I mean, Napa's been around for decades.
Decades.
Can Ningxia really reach that level?
Well, maybe becoming the next Napa isn't the right way to think about it.
Okay.
It's more about Ningxia carving out its own space on the world wine map.
Yeah, making their own mark.
Exactly.
But how do they do that? What are the key ingredients for a wine region that stands out?
It's a complex recipe.
Yeah.
Of course, you need exceptional wines.
Right.
And we've already talked about how Ningxia has that covered.
We've established that.
But it goes beyond just the liquid in the bottle.
So what else is in the mix?
You need a unique sense of place, a compelling story,
Hmm.
a dedication to quality and sustainability,
Okay.
and maybe most importantly,
Yeah.
a passionate community of winemakers who are driven to create something special.
Okay. I can see how Ningxia checks all those boxes.
Dramatic desert landscapes,
Yeah.
ancient history tied to the Silk Road,
Mm-hmm.
winemakers committed to tradition and innovation.
It's all there.
But there's one thing we haven't really explored yet.
What's that?
Those indigenous Chinese grape varieties.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned them earlier,
Uh-huh.
and I'm really curious to learn more.
That's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
Remember we talked about Ningxia wanting to create a wine that's uniquely Chinese?
Right?
Rediscovering and cultivating these ancient grape varieties is a huge part of that.
It's like a quest to rediscover a lost piece of their heritage.
It really is.
But what makes these indigenous grapes so special?
That's what's so fascinating. We're still in the early stages of understanding their full potential.
Okay.
Some of these varieties have been virtually forgotten.
Wow.
So it's a process of rediscovery, experimentation, and a lot of patience.
So they're writing a whole new chapter in the story of Chinese wine.
Yeah, then the world gets to be a part of it.
And the world gets to be a part of it. That's really cool. But are these indigenous grapes only being used for, like, single variety wines?
Well,
Or are winemakers blending them with the international varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon?
both, actually.
So both.
Some winemakers are focusing on showcasing the unique characteristics of these ancient grapes in their purest form. Others are experimenting with blending, creating wines that combine the best of both worlds.
So you could have a Cabernet Sauvignon blended with one of these ancient grapes.
Exactly.
Wow, that's going to be interesting.
It really is.
I'm having trouble even picturing what these wines taste like.
Yeah.
We have all these familiar descriptors for Cabernet Sauvignon, you know, black currant, cedar, tobacco.
Right.
But what about these Chinese grapes?
It's hard to say because we're still in the early stages of developing a vocabulary for these wines.
Right, yeah.
But imagine tasting notes with hints of Asian pear, lychee,
Okay.
ginseng, or even subtle notes of Sichuan peppercorn.
Wow, that's some unique flavors.
It's a whole new world of possibilities.
It really is. But are international varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot
Yeah.
going to take a backseat in Ningxia?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ningxia has proven they can produce world-class Cabernet and Merlot.
Right.
Those wines have put them on the map.
Yeah.
But I think this focus on indigenous varieties just adds another layer.
Okay.
It adds a sense of discovery that really sets them apart.
It's like they're saying, look, we can make a great Cabernet,
Yeah.
but we also want to show you something different,
Exactly.
something unique.
Something that reflects who they are.
But with all this talk of tradition and heritage,
Yeah.
is there a risk that Ningxia could become too focused on the past, too inward-looking?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance. They need to honor their heritage,
Right.
but also look forward,
Yeah.
embrace innovation,
Okay.
and engage with the global wine community.
Because ultimately, for Ningxia wine to really succeed, it needs to connect with consumers around the world.
Yes.
It needs to tell a story that captivates,
Right.
intrigues,
Yeah.
and leaves people wanting more.
And that's where the winemakers themselves come in.
Okay, the wine.
They're the storytellers.
Right.
They're the artists shaping the narrative of Ningxia wine.
So it's not just about the grapes or the terroir or the techniques.
No.
It's about the people.
It's about the passion, the vision,
Right.
the artistry of the people behind the wines.
And when you taste a wine from Ningxia, you're experiencing all of that.
You are.
The land, the history, the culture.
The dedication of the winemakers.
Wow! I never thought I'd be so captivated by a wine region I barely knew existed a few hours ago.
It's amazing, isn't it?
There's always something new to discover.
The world of wine is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
surprising us with unexpected flavors and captivating stories.
And Ningxia is a prime example of that.
It is.
So to all our listeners out there, if you're looking for an adventure in a glass, seek out a bottle of Ningxia wine.
You won't be disappointed.
It's a taste of the unexpected.
It is.
A journey into a world of ancient traditions and modern innovations.
And a testament to the power of passion and dedication.
Cheers to Ningxia.
Cheers.
May their wines continue to captivate and inspire us for years to come.
Absolutely.